For centuries, legends told of giant black cats haunting North American woods, animals that science insists can't exist here. Early settlers recorded terrifying attacks. Indigenous stories warned of shadowy beasts, and yet every official investigation led to more questions. If Black Panthers truly stalked these lands, why can't experts prove it? The unexplained mystery remains. So what did those first witnesses really see? Long before European settlers wrote about shadowy beasts in the forests, indigenous peoples of North America told stories of powerful, sometimes dangerous, feline spirits. Among the Ojibwe, the underwater panther, Mishipeshu, ruled the deep lakes and rivers. Its form a blend of giant cat, serpent, and horned monster. Mishipeshu could bring storms or drown travelers, but also offered protection to those who honored it, and its image still lingers in rock art along the shores of Lake Superior. In the southeast, Choctaw and Cherokee traditions spoke of panthers as both protectors and omens, their cries echoing through the night. These tales, passed down for generations, shaped how people understood the wilderness, a place alive with forces that could not always be seen or named. When colonists arrived, they carried their own fears into the woods. In 1682, Thomas Ashe wrote from Carolina that settlers often had to share their hogs with prowling cats, a reminder that the land belonged first to its wild inhabitants. These animals, described as painters or tyrants of the wilderness, stalked the edges of new settlements, their screams at dusk unsettling even the bravest pioneers. The forests of the Ozarks and Appalachians rang with stories of livestock vanishing overnight, of fleeting black shapes glimpsed at the tree line, and of children warned not to stray too far after dark. By the early 1700s, confusion grew. William Byrd, surveying the borderlands of Virginia and North Carolina in 1728, doubted reports of lions in the woods, suspecting that those who spoke of such creatures had never seen one themselves. Yet the fear persisted, fueled by the lack of evidence and the persistence of unexplained attacks. To the settlers, the line between legend and reality blurred. The panther, sometimes tawny, sometimes black, became a symbol of the unknown, a shadow that haunted both memory and imagination. As oral traditions merged with colonial diaries, the sense of legend deepened, shaping the stories that would be handed down for centuries. Blood on the wagon boards, hoof prints gouged deep into the Arkansas mud, and a driver who never made it home. In the summer of 1874, the Ozarks became the stage for a story that spread fear from one homestead to the next. The Galveston Weekly News reported a supply wagon found abandoned, its horses missing, and only scraps of clothing left behind. Locals whispered about a black panther, something larger, hungrier, and bolder than any wildcat they had seen. The woods, already thick with shadows, felt closer than ever. In Montgomery County, Arkansas, Emily Stacy faced the terror head-on. Alone with her children, she loaded her rifle as scratching claws raked the door. She fired through the wood, and the animal vanished into the night. The next morning, deep gouges and black hairs clung to the splintered frame. For families like the Stacys, the panther was not a rumor. It was a threat that could appear any night without warning. Hunters took up the chase. Silas Whitaker, a man whose word carried weight in the Ozarks, once said, "A painter will seldom attack a man unless it is wounded or starving. But when it does, there's no time to think, only to shoot." Tales like his echoed through the valleys. In the winter of 1944, Jim Red McClure claimed a black panther stalked him for 3 nights near his West Virginia cabin. He never saw it clearly, but found tracks circling his firewood pile, and the uneasy silence that follows a predator on the prowl. By the 1960s, fear turned to action. In Clark County, Illinois, a string of livestock kills led to an armed hunt. For 3 days, farmers and deputies combed the woods, rifles ready, but found nothing except fleeting shadows and the echo of distant cries. Each failed pursuit left people more convinced that something unknown still moved in the darkness, something that refused to be caught, leaving only stories and scars behind. A father and son in Missouri were fishing at the edge of a farm pond when a large, dark animal slipped out of the brush. The boy pointed first, catching a glimpse of a long tail and a body much bigger than any house cat. The creature froze, then crouched low, its outline nearly vanishing against the shadowed grass. They watched as it crept along the bank before disappearing into a thicket. Later, from the seat of their tractor, they saw it again, this time just yards away, moving with the same quiet, muscular grace. Their story spread quickly, first to neighbors, then to local news, and soon across online message boards. Within days, the sighting was being debated by thousands. Some insisted it was a bobcat. Others swore it was a black panther, and a few doubted there was any animal at all. That Missouri encounter is hardly unique. In 2021, a short video from Big Bend National Park showed a sleek, dark cat crossing a rocky trail at dusk. The clip racked up hundreds of thousands of views in under a week, with viewers arguing over every detail, the length of the tail, the shape of the head, the way it moved. Wildlife biologists weighed in, pointing to the animal's gait as evidence it was a bobcat, not a panther. But for many, the footage was proof that something mysterious still roams the wild. Reports like these are not scattered at random. In the southeastern United States, nearly half of all recent black panther sightings are clustered in states like Texas, Louisiana, and Florida. Rural Missouri and the Ozarks remain hotspots, with new cases surfacing every year. North of the border, Ontario has logged over 50 credible reports in the last 3 decades, more than any other province or state. Museums in the region sometimes display melanistic bobcats, their dark coats fueling speculation about larger cousins lurking nearby. Patterns emerge from the noise. Most sightings happen at dawn or dusk, often near water or wooded edges, and nearly all describe a cat larger than a bobcat with a long, sweeping tail. The legend, once whispered around campfires, now travels at the speed of social media. Each new sighting adds to a growing digital archive, blurring the line between folklore and fact. Laboratories across North America have spent decades searching for genetic proof of a black panther. The results are consistent. Not a single confirmed case of melanism has been documented in puma concolor, the only native big cat large enough to match eyewitness descriptions. Biologists have sequenced thousands of cougars from Florida to British Columbia. No black gene has ever turned up. Dr. Sandra Klein, a wildlife geneticist, put it plainly. If black mountain lions existed in North America, we would have found one by now, dead or alive. The DNA just isn't there. Trail cameras, now numbering in the tens of thousands from Texas to Ontario, have captured every manner of wildlife, coyotes, bobcats, even the occasional escaped serval, but never a black panther. In regions with the highest sighting rates, camera traps have gone years without producing a single image that matches the classic description. When a black cat does appear, it almost always turns out to be a melanistic bobcat or a domestic stray, both much smaller than the animals reported in stories. Escaped exotics offer another explanation. In 2008, a black leopard slipped away from a private owner in West Virginia, eluding search teams for hours before being recaptured. Incidents like these are rare, but they do happen, especially in states with lax regulations for exotic pets. Still, most of these animals are quickly found or fail to survive the winter, making it unlikely they account for the volume of reports across decades. Misidentification remains the most common answer. In low light, a tawny cougar's fur can appear almost black, especially at dawn or dusk. Shadows stretch, outlines blur, and a startled observer may see a much larger animal than actually stands before them. After viral videos or news stories, wildlife agencies often report a wave of new sightings, sometimes spiking by a third within days. Yet none are ever confirmed by physical evidence. The mystery endures, not because of what science finds, but because of what it cannot quite disprove. Despite centuries of claims, no scientific record confirms a black panther in North America. Yet new sightings surface every year. The wild still holds secrets, and belief often fills the gaps left by evidence. Sometimes mystery itself is the last untamed predator. What do you think?